Hello and welcome to the official countdown show for EFC 89, proudly brought to you by Restonic. I'm Simon Stevens, and I'm joined yet again by the bantamweight goat of Africa, Demarte the Wolf Pena. Demarte, let's just look back at EFC 88 first, because it really was a cracker. Let's start with Shannon Fantonda against Trezeguet Kanyinda, and it was almost as if he taught him a lesson from those weigh-in antics the day before, wasn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, we saw Kanyinda, he was dragging himself through the floor, barely made it to the scale. I think most of us were worried for him, for his health. Obviously, we want the guys to show up there the best possible way. But then afterwards, I think 2 minutes later, the guy was walking properly. So I don't know. I mean, I can't say. Only he knows what he felt. Obviously, Fanton has had an extreme success in the amateur scene. He's destroyed most of his opponents. And then obviously now his second fight comes out that dominates the fight. I mean, it was a clean performance. I expected the fight to go that way, honestly. I've seen Shannon is a very dedicated young athlete. And, it comes out very aggressive, wants to finish the fight. So he's got a massive, massive future ahead of him.
And then we got Huende against Makiza. And Huende, this rising prospect coming on debut in your camp. You train with him. You're one of his coaches. I mean, it really was an absolutely devastating gut shot that he got his opponent with.
It's unfortunate. I think after the fight, Makiza had broken. I know he actually cracked 6 of his ribs. 6. So obviously we send our well wishes to him. It's the nature of the sport, but I think he's all right now. Having said that, I mean, when they came out, he's so relaxed leading up to the fight. But luckily, when it's time to show up, he does show up. He came out, dominated the fight on the feet, took the guy down easily, and then he was just working that body quite a lot. That left shot to the ribs, I mean, was devastating. We don't see a lot of knockouts with body shots. So I mean, he's got a really good personality. After the fight, he's doing all these backflips. He's enjoying himself. So I feel that he's got a lot of potential to eventually become champion. Obviously, he trains with the current champion, Sylvester Chifumbu. So I mean, I think for him, he's very motivated to become the best in the division.
Let's move on to a really what I thought was a fantastic move of the night, and that was Ruvan De Beer against Orlando Machaba. I mean, just talk about that kind of fight IQ. I mean, in that first round, he was getting pummeled a lot on the feet. He was submitting a lot of escape defense off his back. He was beautiful defense, but that flying knee to transition into a guillotine midair, it's something you don't see very often.
Absolutely, you don't see. And I think the beauty about mixed martial art is that you can have a guy that is really good striker or a really good grappler, but being able to transition the two, that's the most difficult thing about fighting. So what he was able to do, I mean, to do a strike and then leading up into a guillotine, I mean, it's unbelievable. The guy's had a really rocky start in his career. He's lost to the likes of JP Baez, and then he's lost now to Manengela. So now he's coming back. He has this resurgence. You can see he's very motivated. He wants to be the best. It's good to see guys that have that energy and that fire to become better. So I'm just happy for him. He's got a really good win, and I think he'll be able to win a few more fights and possibly fight for the title.
Another fight that impressed me was Roy Lucullo against Francois Kandari. I mean, Roy just absolute strength and technique, didn't he, against a submission specialist?
I mean, Roy, I've trained with Roy probably for a period of a year or so. I mean, he's extremely strong. I think the problem with Roy has always been his mindset. If he goes into a fight where he doesn't believe that he can win, he doesn't show up. This fight, he was very motivated to win. He knew that he has the potential to dominate the fight on the feet and on the ground, and that's what he just did. I mean, he controlled the fight, was very aggressive when he took the guy down, massive strikes. So I think that if he keeps that mindset positive, going in there and trying to finish the fight, I believe that he can go far in this division.
Fight of the night, Demarte, was British Bodyang against Smith Stain, and it was an absolute war. I mean, what are your thoughts on that first round, let alone the win by Stain? It was a cracking fight.
I mean, the guys, they came out to fight. I mean, there was a lot of hype with Bodyang. I'm very sad that he lost because I lost a lot of money.
I heard you lost a fair bit.
I lost a lot of money because of him. I think the hype train has been derailed. I mean, Stain, it was unbelievable. He took all the shots. At a stage, I thought Bodyang was going to be winning this fight. I mean, both of them came out to win, and then it just showed in the second round. I mean, Stain showed that he's got that heart.
And Demarte, we didn't get the headliner we wanted so much, Ricky Michaelis against Juan Bezaidenho, because of the medical scans not coming in time. What are your thoughts on that? Because it was such a shame.
I mean, I'm not sure why there was that delay. I think Ricky didn't go on time, and obviously now with COVID, there's you need to book a lot of things, well in advance. It's unfortunate. I mean, the first fight was a cracker. We expected another cracker of a fight, and I think I was also wondering, was it not a little bit of a short notice, because he did lose quite in a bad way in his previous fight, and then coming forward and then trying to fight again, and he had the altercation on the back as well with Conrad Seebi. So I mean, it's been quite a lot story, I think, with Ricky Michailus. It's very interesting to me. I don't know what are your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I think it was a massive shame. I think it could be a mixture of a lot of things that we may not be aware of. I think on the flip side, it just shows yet again that the medical attention that we do at EFC, that if you're not 100% clear to fight, you are not getting in that cage. Let's talk about what for me was one of the greatest moments I've ever experienced in sportscasting, and I know almost over 30 years now, Demarte, and that was the victory of Dr. Tabani Ndebele over Triple H power Matunga Chikasa. I mean, he walked through a lot of shots in that first round, but to actually take a world title less than 6 days after you've buried your own father and you've been a serving doctor throughout the pandemic for a year and a half, coming from very, very difficult circumstances in rural KwaZulu-Natal. It had everything, and there he is breaking down. And like I've said before, it's almost as if he finally allowed himself to relive the worst moment in his life in its greatest moment. It really was a very special moment. What were your thoughts?
No, I mean, absolutely. Is embrace the concept of working hard for achieving whatever you need in life. And then what's worse than, you're already putting in so much work, you're fighting for the world title, and then you lose your father. And with a lot of people, that was going to obviously deter them, set them back quite a lot, and lead some people into depression and not wanting to achieve anything. I think having daddy use that such a horrible position to be in. I've lost my mom and my dad. Is not a good position to be in. So I feel that he used that energy, to show, what, Dad, you may not still be here, but I'm going to fight for you. We saw in that first round, I mean, he was in trouble. But he was able to overcome that. He used his pain in order to become victorious. So I think that's most of us in life. I mean, we're all facing a lot of problems in our lives. I think if we can use that specific problem in order to overcome whatever we are facing, I mean, it just shows you the human potential that all of us can have.